Hey 49ers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to Chat Sports, and today we just wrapped up week 2 for the 49ers in the National Football League. So I got on the computer, I wrote everything down, I was watching the game and trying to get you guys this video as quickly as possible. We're grading the entire 49ers offense, defense, special teams, and individual players on the week 2 win for the 49ers. Before we start though, let me just say this. Give yourself a round of applause. Give me a little clap for the 49ers. 2-0, and they dominated the Cincinnati Bengals. Now remember, the Bengals last week went into Seattle, almost beat a Seahawks team that just went into Pittsburgh and beat Pittsburgh. So, don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but oh my goodness, the 49ers look very, very good, clicking on all three sides of the football in this game. Let's just dive right into the grades, starting with the overall offensive grades. I have to go A-. It's so close to going A+, but I couldn't quite give it a perfect game because there was a turnover and there were a lot of penalties. But overall, about as good on offense as you possibly could want. 313 yards passing, fantastic. How about 259 yards rushing? Are you guys kidding me? 259-yard rushing it's like a college football game. Doesn't happen in the NFL. No Tevin Coleman. I was very curious to see what Mostert would do coming up, being the number 2 running back. They brought up Jeff Wilson from the practice squad. Breida was great. The offensive line blocked so well in the running game. Now, the running backs created a ton of, extra yardage, but the O-line blocked well. The O-line in pass protection, 0 sacks. I think Garoppolo got, hit? My numbers say twice? 2 times he was hit in the entire game. And it's a decent defensive line there in Cincinnati. Overall, the offense was absolutely fantastic. Anytime you have 572 total yards, they were clicking on all cylinders. This is the Kyle Shanahan offense we've been fully waiting to see, where they don't really need a true number 1 wide receiver, because we talked about this in the last video. Sure, we'd like to have, an elite wide receiver, but when you have enough guys on the squad, Samuel, Goodwin, they got involved. And of course, the running backs in the passing game too, they are scheming guys open. You saw that in the Marquise Goodwin, where he was faking like he was going to block, and on the left side of the field was wide open. Shanahan is a genius, and he got the ball into the hands of his targets. Kittle had an average day. Kittle was great and fine, but it wasn't even the bright spot of this passing attack. Overall, the offense was so good and so scary good. I would love, and I just can't wait to see what they're going to do going forward in this season, especially as Garoppolo and the receivers continue to get on the page. We saw that with Deebo Samuel today, continue to get better and better. And remember, a lot of you guys have commented on the YouTube video saying our best receiver is injured right now in Jalen Hurd. So when Hurd gets back, oh boy, it's going to be a lot of fun. Overall, it's just fun watching your team dominate. There's no better feeling on a Sunday afternoon than watching your team dominate, and that's what the 49ers did on offense today. The only bad news on offense, late in this football game, the tackle Joe Staley did break his fibula, and has been reported he's going to be out for 8 weeks. So that is a big shot to what is a great offensive line. We'll see how they do kind of filling the hole with him, but that's the one negative that comes out of this game on the offensive side. It was you just hate to see, especially when we were leading by so much. But again, overall, bright spots. The offense was great. A- for that grade. Next, was the defense even better? Right? Was the defense better than the offense? The offense was great. The defense was fantastic. Only 17 total points. The Bengals came down and they answered on the opening drive, and it's like, oh, okay, well, here we go. This could be interesting. The rest of the way, 17 total points allowed. Dalton was able to throw decently. What was it? I think he had 209 yards passing. But how about this number? Our running game, 259 yards. Their running game, 25. That's it. 25 yards rushing. It's a special defense. Hats off to the entire defense. The secondary last week was the big focus. They had the 3 interceptions today. No cornerback or safety had an interception. It was actually Kwon Alexander. But the front 7 was absolutely fantastic. 4 sacks. They were all over Andy Dalton. Kwon Alexander, we'll talk about him later. He was great. Bosa was getting in there. Solomon Thomas had a sack. The front 4 is as good as advertised. They're rotating guys in there. The front 7, though, with the 3 linebackers, Warner and Alexander, are something very special. This linebacker core is one of the best in the entire NFL. And the corners are playing great, too. I mean, it was just an amazing day. I'm lost for words. We just finished watching the game, and it's like, this is a really, really good team. Defensive grade overall, and A-. They looked fantastic. Special teams, B+, right? There's nothing too special here. No big returns by Richie James. Some 2 decent punts by Wisnowski, although the Niners didn't punt that much. And Robbie Gould did miss 1 of his field goals, went 2 for 3. So again, it doesn't really matter. It's fine. But we got to go a B+ on that one overall. Be sure to subscribe to our 49ers Only YouTube channel. We're starting to grow it, guys. We're growing really fast. Let's get this to 2,000 subscribers here pretty darn soon. Just hit the subscribe button either on here on Chat Sports or over if you're watching this on our 49ers Only channel. Subscribe down there. All right, individual grades here. We continue to grade the 49ers' big win over the Cincinnati Bengals, starting as always with Jimmy Garoppolo, A-. Garoppolo was really good in this football game. A lot better than what he was last week. Now, he was fine last week. They got a win. He looked good, distributed the football, found Kittle a lot. But today, 8 different receivers caught a pass by Jimmy G. He threw 3 touchdowns and actually was attempting some deep throws as well. Now, the interception was a bad throw. I'm not sure what he was looking at. It was like triple coverage, quadruple coverage, whatever it was. But overall, he was protected well. He moved the ball around. He spread it around to different targets and showed he doesn't just have to rely on George Kittle all the time for 8 or 10 catches. He did hit Kittle for like 5, but moved the ball around as well, made some big-time throws, and it definitely helps. We have to give credit to the offensive line. When he gets hit twice the entire game and is sacked 0 times, most quarterbacks in the NFL with that kind of protection are going to play well, but Garoppolo was extra special today, and I'll hand it off to you guys. We've talked about this on the 49er news and rumor videos a lot about, Shanahan's trust in Garoppolo and Garoppolo struggling in the preseason and all that kind of stuff. A lot of you guys, and I'll give you guys your credit, credit where credit is due, basically said he's injured last year, take some time to kind of get things going. Well, 2 weeks in, we've already seen a jump from week 1 to week 2. Garoppolo's starting to find his groove. It looks like the trend is going upwards, right? It's here, and now we're going up. We'll see what happens next week in the home opener against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But an A- right now for Jimmy Garoppolo. Really liked what he did as he basically threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Question, what grade would you give Jimmy G against the Bengals? You know the drill. Type the name, Jimmy G, grade. Let's see it down below and tell me why as well. All right, moving on. Raheem Mostert, A+. Are you kidding me? It's an A+ for every single running back, and Breida had more yards overall and was stupid good. Looks like a true #1 running back. But we had talked about this in last week's video. Raheem Mostert coming up as the #2 back today because Coleman's out with the ankle injury instead of being the #3 guy. We knew his speed was going to be elite. Ran that 4.4 at the combine, but it showed it today. He was so darn good. 83 yards rushing, the 68 yards receiving, and the receiving touchdown on the screen. He looked like a feature back in the NFL. If we have, just think about this, because Jeff Wilson was good as well. It's why we add him into this list of, all the running backs A+. If we get Coleman back, and Coleman comes back and plays healthy, we almost have too many, which is like the best case scenario, but how are you going to get the ball to all 4 running backs? They're all good, and they balanced it so well, too. It was 13 carries for Mostert, 12 carries for Breida, I think. It was a perfect balance. This is a dangerous running team. I think the #1 rushing team in the league right now, and that creates so many problems for defenses. Defenses hate good running teams because you've got to stack the box, and all good quarterbacks can throw the football like Jimmy Garoppolo, and then they get beat over top. It's a special running team. I hope it stays that way with Staley out, and I also hope that Coleman is able to come back and just add to it and not take away carries from a guy like Mostert. But I said he would be special today, and boy, was he. Raheem Mostert, all the running backs, A+, they were fantastic. How about our next guy here in Deebo Samuel? Jimmy Garoppolo doing this, Deebo Samuel doing this as well. Again, last week, getting his feet wet. Preseason didn't do a whole lot, even though he had 5-6 catches. Today, 5 catches, 87 yards, his first touchdown on the right side of the end zone. He was great. B+, though, he had, 7 targets, 5 catches, had a really bad drop early on in the game that I kind of took note of. Was gotta catch that. But he's young, right? And today was the day where you watched him on the field, you go, that's why we drafted him. He did exactly what we expected him to do when we drafted him this past year in the NFL draft. If he continues doing this, it's going to be a special year. I'm mad at myself because myself took him off of my starting role in my fantasy team. I said, well, I don't know if he's going to catch a touchdown today. Let me go ahead and swap him. I swapped him for, I think it was Alshon Jeffrey for Philadelphia because he was going to play on Sunday Night Football. So when you're watching this video, who knows if I was right or not. But I'm mad at myself for not playing him because 87 yards and a touchdown was pretty darn good. 17.4 yards per catch. Loved what I saw from Deebo, the leading receiver on this team. It was a good day for most of the Niner wide receivers, although Bourne only had 1 catch. And Pettis was still, I don't know. don't know, didn't have a catch. So we'll have to figure out what Shanahan says in post-game press conference, depending when you watch this video, what was going on with Dante Pettis. But again, Samuel picking up the slack from the receivers, what they did last week. Their receiving core as a whole looked a lot better as well. Anytime you score 41 points, the receivers are going to look good, so hats off to them. They were great. How impressed are you guys so far with what you've seen from Deebo Samuel? Last week, this week, the progression we talked about, how excited are you that he could potentially be the leading receiver on this team going forward until Jalen Hurts gets back? Let me know in the comments down below. Next, Kwon Alexander. Good Lord have mercy. I take notes during the game for these videos, and all I keep doing is Kwon Alexander is everywhere. Kwon Alexander is everywhere. Kwon Alexander is everywhere. Gets ejected last week. Upset about it. Gets a $28,000 fine. We talked about it. All over the place. 6 tackles, 3 pass defense. How good was he in pass coverage today, too? Getting the interception as well. Fred Warner was the leading tackler on this team. He's arguably our best linebacker, like, overall, but it's like this. You know, they're both just so darn good. A+ for Kwon Alexander, A+ for Fred Warner. This linebacking core, I'm trying to think of a better one in the NFL right now. They're playing out of their mind, and a huge reason why this defense is so successful, because they're good at all 3 levels. Front 4 is good. The linebackers are good. The secondary is good. But big hats off to Kwon Alexander. My notes kept saying as I was watching, like, he was all over the place, because every single play it felt like Kwon was by the football, getting tackles, breaking up passes, intercepting the ball, and just doing a ton for this defense. A+ overall. I didn't want to just give everybody A+, you know, because obviously a lot of them played well, so I was trying to find someone who was struggling just a little bit, and if I had to pick somebody, it'd be K'Waun Williams in coverage. He gets a C-. He did have a lot of tackles, like 7 tackles, 3 were solo, but I keep thinking back to that John Ross play where he got absolutely abused in the slot there. He's probably our weakest cornerback right now, playing in the nickel and, you know, moving him around and stuff like that. Witherspoon and Sherman were great. Witherspoon was fantastic. He should have had a pick 6 there. I don't know why he had to kick the football and cost us yardage, but yeah, that's fine. He still should have picked it off. But if I had to, you know, get on somebody who was kind of, you know, up and down in this game, still had good tackles, but K'Waun Williams is our one guy who gets a C- overall. Because John Ross, while they did do a good job on him all day, that was one play where I was like, man, that's a big play there, and it was Williams' fault. So again, that's the one you know, player you watch and it's like, well, not so great. But everybody else, I mean, my goodness, everyone else was basically good. So let's keep the positive notes going here as we continue on. Question here: who's the best defensive player in the secondary through 2 games? Sherman's been great. Witherspoon's been great. You know, Alexander's not in the secondary, but he, you know, has been playing in coverage. He's been great. Who's the best one so far? Give me some analysis down below. I read all the comments. So, and if you see me reply, I'm Thomas Mott. I think it's my YouTube channel name. So, you see me reply, check. I reply to a lot of them. So go ahead and scroll down below. I'll probably reply to a lot of them on this video. Finally here, our final grade. We always kind of do discipline or penalties or injuries. We combine penalties and injuries together for a D-. 9 penalties again, 75 yards, another touchdown called back due to penalties. False starts. You just got to get better with these penalties. It was bad last week. I think it was 11 last week. Today it's 9. The good teams, again, 3, 4, 5 is a number that you guys kind of hang out at, not 9, 10, 11, 12. That needs to improve. Regardless, still a massive win. And obviously, I put injury on here because Joe Staley did break his fibula, which is brutal. So, you know, it's one bad injury, but it's a bad injury going forward on this offensive line. So hopefully he's able to return in 8 weeks, but we'll see how they're going to fill the hole there and kind of patchwork this offensive line. That was great today. 2 total quarterback hits, 0 sacks. If we could have gotten out of here with no injuries, I mean, it would have been an overall great day. That's the one little Debbie Downer cloud that we have. But again, this was a special day, and these are the days that you enjoy being a football fan because your team just dominates. 41-17 is about as good as it can get, and now 2-0. The percentage of teams that go to the playoffs after starting 2-0 skyrockets compared to 1-1, and especially against 0-2. So they're moving here. They're grooving here. It stinks Seattle had to win. Again, by the time you're watching this video, you guys can't see it, but my TV actually has the Rams game on right over there, so we'll see what happens with the Rams. And at least the Cardinals lost, so if we're looking at inside the division. But if the Rams could lose, it could be a massive overall day as we would be tied with the Seahawks at 2-0. All right, give me your overall grade for the 49ers in Week 2 down below. Again, if you're doing individual grades, name, grade. For this one, 49ers, grade. Let me know why. And as always, be sure to subscribe to our 49ers Only YouTube channel because, listen, we've been talking here at Chat Sports. Little hint, we're going to be doing a lot more 49ers stuff here in the future. So plenty of videos upcoming. Subscribe to Chat Sports and subscribe to the 49ers Only Chat Sports channel as well. As always, comments down below. You know that I read them. What a win by the 49ers. Give yourself a little pat on the back. Wear your 49ers polos tomorrow. Okay, hey, here, let's just do this. We're going to start this now here on Chat Sports. If you've watched till this far in the video, wear your 49ers polo, your t-shirt, whatever tomorrow to work. Take a picture of it and send it to me on Twitter at RealThomasMont. We're going to make this a thing. We're calling it Victory Monday. Put your 49er polos on. I want to see them on my Twitter handle at RealThomasMont tomorrow. There we go. Big win. Congratulations. We're all excited. 2-0. Pittsburgh next week at home at Levi Stadium. I cannot wait. All the time we have for today. For Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott signing off. Big victory for the Niners. Enjoy the rest of your winning Sunday or Victory Monday, depending on when you watch this video.